Hey, we're back for part two of how to publish your book on Amazon's KDP self-publishing option for less than $20. Again, I'm on Zoom. Again, I am blurry, but that's so I can share the screen with you so you can see what's going on and come alongside, or I can come alongside you while you walk through step by step from beginning to end on how to get your book out there so the world can read it and so that you can just see your book in print because that's really exciting. Now, if you notice, this looks a little bit different than what I said last week. A cute little guy, little stick figure on the computer. In the week since I recorded the first one, Amazon changed its interface. That's the first time in, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. So that's kind of ironic. So if you're confused, I'm sorry about that. Let's just run through from the basics because reviewing is good. You want to go into Amazon KDP. You are going to sign in at this point because you should have an account. And then you are going to go to your dashboard, which is where you're going to see all of your books that you've written. And you will scroll down to whichever one is your new one that you're working on. If you have a new one, it doesn't have a cover yet. So you're going to see the title here and a couple of little bits of information depending on how far you've gone. If you notice on the right side of the book, there's this little ... ellipses, and you'll notice it has several options of things that you can do. Right now, we're just going to go back through from the beginning to run through real quick to make sure you remember where we are. Your language, English, book title, subtitle, and these cannot be changed once you publish it. So make sure it's the title that you want. If not, you're going to have to start over and do a whole nother book. Your series title, if you have a series, that can be changed. Most of the things can be changed later down the road, just not your title and I believe your author name or something like that. Your description, etc. Again, you can have a lot under your description. So plan on putting a lot of information in there, lots of blurbs and teasers and, things that people said and reviews and stuff like that. If you have those things, because the more information, sometimes the better. Makes it look like your book has a lot to say. You own the copyright. This is not an adult book. Your primary marketplace is Amazon.com. Your 3 categories that you will have picked based on choosing, from the drop down, based on sometimes what is the best, but remember, you don't want to go as broad as possible. You want to go narrow because that puts you higher up. There may be 5,000 Amish, Western who wear red hats or something like that, as opposed to Amish romance, which is millions and millions and millions. And so you want the smaller categories so that you go higher in the numbers because that shows you up higher on Amazon. Your keywords, you're going to want to fill all of those up and then save and continue. You can do save as drafts, and that means you can come back to it later, which is what we did last time. Save and continue means this page, you're good and you're moving forward. We got our free ISBN, which is your barcode so that tells people when they scan it where to find your book. Publication date, I never fill those in, but if you want to do a launch down the road after your book is done, that's fine. Maybe it's on your birthday or something. Now, this is about where we stopped. And this is where you decide the nuts and bolts of your book, the very important things that you're not going to want to change later on down the road because you're going to have to make templates and whatnot. First thing is your ink and paper type. You've got black and white. So you notice if you hover over any of these little guys that have question marks, it gives you explanations. So a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you, they're going to tell you as well. But for me personally, I learn better if I'm watching an actual person go through something, and that's why I'm doing these instead of being like, go on there, it's user friendly, you'll figure it out. So you've got black and white interior. The interior is the inside of your book. So this is the pages that go. This is your cover, clearly, but your cover is a totally different material. It's thicker, and your cover is going to be glossy or matte, and that's farther down. Your interior is the pages that are on the inside, and what do you want those to be? The first one is black and white interior with cream paper. Cream paper is thicker, so it's going to use up more space, might cost a little bit more. Black and white interior with white paper. That's what this guy is. It makes the words stand out. Standard color interior with white paper. So now you're talking about if you've got images that are in full color that you want, it's going to cost more money if it's in color as opposed to black and white. But if you're talking about like a children's book and it's illustrated, I do have books that are color, less pages unless you want to pay for it. And then of course, color interior with white paper. So those are two separate colors. And that's just, again, depending on the quality and stuff that you want. All right. Trim size. Now, what that means is what size do you want your book to be? So depending on what your book is and what it's about and how you want the look to be, you're going to pick your size. A lot of times the average fiction novel, which would be like this, mine are often 5.25 by 8. Sometimes it might be, this is my nonfiction, and I believe it's 5 by 8. Not really that much of a difference. Sometimes you'll want a 6 by 9. Those are larger. If you've got a journal or something like that, or maybe you write a lot, and so you want it to be less pages. There are lots of different sizes. So as you can see, there's the popular ones, and these are your standard books. So if you print a book in any of these sizes, it's going to look like a normal book. These are some exceptions, but they're still kind of normal, 8.5 by 11, 7 by 10, things like that. Then you got your non-standard. So if you want to be a little unusual, so 8.5 by 8.5. So that's a square size. I have one book that's square sized, a children's book, and it works well that way. Or you can actually select your own custom size. I do have one book that's that way. Maybe I'll show it to you next time. But the problem with custom sizes is that you can't do extended distribution, which is being sold to stores out and about. And you may not want to do that anyway. So if you want some really odd size, go for it. All right, bleed settings. What bleed means is whether or not you want pictures to go to the edge. I am going to have to go get that book so you can see it. Book called Chosen, and it's for families, Christian families who adopt. And this is square, and it's whatever size it is, however many inches by however many inches. But all the pictures on the inside, for one, it's full color, gorgeous quality. Not super sturdy. I will admit that Amazon's books aren't very sturdy. So after they've been read a few times, they look like they've been read a few times. So be prepared for that. But as far as the color saturation, gorgeous, really, really beautiful. But if you notice, the color comes all the way out to the edge. That is bleed. So what that means is you don't have any margins on the outside that are white. So if you want the colors to come all the way out to the edge, you want bleed. If you do so, they're going to have stipulations on, you're going to want to have pictures out beyond the edge of your page. And if you aren't used to formatting books, particularly in PDF, that's going to be quite confusing, but you'll have to learn that one on your own or look it up on YouTube. There's lots of people who would love to see it. Whereas these books, for example, these are my nonfiction, and I do have comics at the end of the chapter, but none of them come all the way out. I should probably put this back up so you can see it. Sorry, y'all, I'm not a YouTuber. Okay, so back here, this one has a comic book, but if you notice, there's plenty of margin around the edge all the time. So that's a no bleed. And back to the one where there is bleed. This is bleed. So the pictures and everything are coming all the way out to the edge. So even if you've only got pictures up in the top corner, if you want anything to come out to the edge, then you want bleed. That's what the bleed is for. Okay, back to the screen sharing. Well, I'll get the hang of this one of these days, probably by the time I'm finished with all of this. Okay, paperback cover finish, glossy or matte. If you've ever developed pictures, you know what those are like. Then it's time. Upload your paperback manuscripts. You are not going to want to upload a Word document that you've been working on, that text file that I was telling you about. What you are going to need is a template, because when you are printing in a book, as opposed to a document, the pages, if you notice, they look like they're similar as far as margins, but they're not, because there's all that stuff on the inside. So your pages are actually going to look like this when you look at the actual document, because the margins have to be larger on the interior than they are on the exterior so that there's room for the book to come together. So you're going to need a template, and that's where you're going to look here. Download a KDP template for your preferred trim size. Now, if you do this, so say you click that, I'm going to do it in a separate window just so I can get back to there. Paperback, and there's, see this? This is your, wow, your whole entire library of everything you've ever wanted to know about how to make this happen. So you're going to choose a template. Templates are wonderful. You can choose a blank template, or you can choose a template with sample content. Now, if say you have a 6 by 9, say you want a template with sample content, because this is your first time, you don't know what you're doing. You're going to download this. It's going to download in a zip file. Once you take out the zip and whatever, it's going to have all the different sizes. You're going to pick the size that your book is and open it, and it's going to have things like chapter. And the chapter thing will already be in the right size font. It will already be in the right place. It will already whatever. And you're just like, there's little insert text here, insert text here. And so you just copy and paste your text, boom, and it like puts it all in all the right places so that you're set up to go. It's wonderful. Templates are great. I would not recommend trying to format this on your own because, again, the margins are a little bit wonky unless you're a mathematical brain, in which case you could figure it out more easily than I can. But I'm one of those creative people and I can use all the help I can get. So you're going to download the template. It's going to show you where to put everything. So that's why you want your text file. So then you can just copy, paste, put everything in the right places, and then it's all where it needs to be. Honestly, what I do at this point, because I've done so many of them, is when it's time for me to make a new book, say I'm doing another one in the Sick and Tired series. Well, I've got 5 already. So I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pull up one that I've already done in the template and then just put all my stuff in the same spot, because then it's the font that I have chosen and it's the chapters headings in the exact spot where I wanted to place them, and it's the right little headers and footers or page numbers or whatever it is that I put in, especially for my series. And then I can just use my own templates as a template again. So again, like I said, the more you do this, the easier it gets. First one's rough, but it's okay. Think of yourself as like a freshman in college. You don't know what you're doing, but you will. It's okay. Moving on to your book cover. That's a very exciting spot. Again, there's a spot right here where you can download a template for a book cover as well. So if you want to make your own in Photoshop or in InDesign or whatever program you use, you're going to want to save it as a PDF. You're going to want a PDF for the manuscript as well. So you save it like you do it in Word, and then you save it as a PDF because then it'll stay the same. That's not the case with the ebook. You don't do that, but that's another story. So the cover, you're going to be making a PDF as well. And there are, again, bleed margins, certain stuff. So you want to download that template that gives you the little spacing of it. So if you're making your own, you can understand how that works. If you don't, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not a cover designer. I'm a book author. What are you kidding? You're going to launch Cover Creator. This is neat, actually. When I first started, they had maybe 4 or 5 different options for a cover, and it looked pretty self-published. And you could always tell, oh, it's like, oh, that's Amazon's self-publishing cover. But at this point, they're good. So let's see if we can pull out of this little spot. So you're going to be pulling your images in, and then there's going to be, okay, fine. We'll grab an animal here. Let's do birds, because let's make a book about chickens. All right, so now you have a chicken. And then it goes into all these different options. And as you can see, there's different layouts. And this is where you put your title. This is where you put your, and it's already populated it with your information from your description. It's really cool. So it can go from being, real casual to real quirky, and you can make it your own a lot more than before. So that's really exciting. And it has spaces for your author thing, and it leaves room for the barcode, so you don't have to try and figure all that out yourself. So it's a great way to do it yourself. And then you will have it. If you're doing your own, you're going to use this little spot instead and upload a PDF. Now I'm going to pop over at this point to one of my books that's already here, so that you can see what happens when you preview it. I'm not going to create a whole new book because that will take a while. So let's just look at this one. That would be fun. All right. So we're going to go to roughly the same spot that we were at, except this one is a book that's actually mine and it's actually been published. You can see the paper just chosen, the trim size, bleed settings. There's my manuscript that's been uploaded. There is my cover file. And it's nice that it shows you what the title of the manuscript is, so that if you want to make a new edition, I have multiple editions when I fix things or change things or write new chapters. then I can tell which one's actually pulled up and whether or not it's the correct one or not. Here's my cover. This says, does it include a barcode? Um, Amazon gives you a barcode. So if you don't know anything about barcodes, just don't click that box. Okay. AI, this is a new thing. AI is a brand new whole world, and some people are creating entire books based on AI journals and coloring books and whatnot. So you'll see all these things on YouTube about making tons of money by AI books, and Amazon's trying to kind of crank down on that. Maybe to those of us who actually did all the work can actually, make money off of it. Then you get to this thing called book preview. So once you've uploaded your cover and your interior, it's time to look at it and see what it looks like as a book. Now, this is an extremely exciting moment because you are very close to done. Now, my little window is small because of my screen size. That's not a big deal. You just say, continue, don't worry about it. And then you wait with bated breath and you hope it all works out. Expect this not to work first time. What? There's my book. Yay. Over here to the left is a quality check. Now, if it ever says your book is not okay because page such and so, the pictures that were supposed to bleed don't come all the way edge, or you're too far on the margins, or it will tell you certain things if you've done them wrong that it will not accept it. And then it will tell you which pages, which is fantastic. You can go down here and look at the page, see what's wrong, go and fix it on your manuscript, upload your manuscript again, go through the whole process, preview it. That's the point of the preview. So you don't have to print 15 different times and try to fix all these details. It's wonderful technology. Mine doesn't have any reasons to refuse it. It just has a lot of information about blah, 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 blah. That's not important. It just basically says once it's submitted, they're going to do a quality check. And that's when it probably an actual person looks at it. And if they see anything else, or if the additional quality check notices anything else, you're going to get an email one way or the other once you submit it on whether or not it's okay or not, or if you need to fix something. Wonderful thing is they will tell you exactly what you need to fix, so you're not guessing. Now, at this point, I'm looking at this and it looks pretty good because I've already been through the 5 or 10 fixing it things. Sometimes you'll pull it up and you'll notice, oh my goodness, your little title is way over here, or this thing's way over there, or oh goodness, this stuff is sticking out. What you're wanting is everything has to be in between these red lines because that's the cut line. The white is the probable cut line. The red is kind of like, this is our safety, just in case everything needs to be inside that line. That's what you're looking for. And then look at this. You get to click this and it starts to show you the book. So it's as if you were looking through your own book page by page by page. So you can look through every single thing, and maybe you're like, wait, what is that? What is that? And so you can click on it and it gives you a zoomed in view so you can look closer, more closely, and you can go through, and this will take a while, but seriously click every single page because you may find page 272 there was a little glitch and you accidentally have some random picture there, or something, you added another paragraph and didn't think about the fact that it was going to knock all your chapter headings off for the rest of the book because you didn't put in page break. You can also come down here, say you want to look at your end matter, author page and that sort of thing. You can put in a page number and it will take you to that page. Ding, ding, ding. Now, see, this is the kind of thing that's bleed. So I had to make this book bleed, even though most of it has plenty of margins. If there's even one page that you want to go all the way out, you need bleed. And then, of course, you can recommend your other books if you want to. I get all done and I'm like, yeah, I like it. So I approve it. Usually, though, you're going to need to exit Print Previewer and go back and fix something and pull it back up again. And then check it again and then fix it and pull it back up. Expect to do this 5 to 10 times per book, even if you're used to this, because it just is the way it is. But the nice thing is all of that's free. So you're basically doing all your proofing instead of, ordering a proof, waiting for it to get there, fixing some things, trying it again, and going back and forth for 6 months. You can do this in a matter of a week. Okay, so once that's done, it's going to show you this same page, and then everything's okay. You're good, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good. You get all the way down to the bottom, it's going to show you how much it's going to cost for you to buy it as an author. Now that book is a big book. It's got over 70 chapters in it, and it costs $5.26 for me to buy it. It's pretty awesome, especially considering I sell it for $14.95 on Amazon anyway. It's going to tell you how much it costs in France and stuff too, if you care about that sort of thing. These are all your details. And so if you're good with all of that, you save and continue and go on to the third page. I think there's only 3 total. So we're really getting there. All right. Now, this is asking you about territories and your rights as an author. We're going to go through I think we can finish this in just 2 instead of 3. So let's try. So the question is, do you own this book? Did you write the whole blooming thing? Is it yours? Then just do worldwide rights. Yay! If it's not, then you're going to have to look into further details. Pricing below, you're looking at what is your primary marketplace. Well, Amazon.com US is where I am, so that's mine. If you happen to live in Sweden or some other place, you're going to be putting something different. So you're going to go down here and then you're going to have to pick a price. Now you're probably looking at this like, I have no idea how many euros it's going to cost. Don't worry, because again, technology. So say I put in $12.99. Look, it does it for you. It adapts to all the different locations. And it's also going to tell you how much your royalty is going to be based on the printing costs compared to how much you're going to charge on Amazon. So you're not going to get 100% royalties because Amazon does get some money for doing all this work for you, which is valid. Now, again, it's significantly better than your average traditional publisher, because your traditional publisher, you may get 10 to 15, maybe 20% royalty, whereas with Amazon, you get anywhere from 35 to 70% royalty. That's significant. Okay, so say I'm going to go back to my $14.99 price. Now, this is more expensive because it's a bigger book. My smaller books like this, they're going to cost less because less pages, less printing, less ink. Something like this is going to cost different because of the color. So you'll just kind of get used to your general ideas. But the fact that I can get a huge book like that for around $5 and then I can get $3.73 royalty is really, really neat, especially if it sells on Amazon and I didn't have anything to, I couldn't even do it. Expanded distribution, what that means is other bookstores can buy it from Amazon at wholesale and sell it at their store. So, you know, bookstores, which used to exist a lot. Nowadays is not so much. If you want to sell it on other online places, that's going to be more of you doing that. But that's a 40% royalty because they've also got to, you know, go through all the issues with the wholesale price. So that goes down to all these places where it might also sell. So somebody in Australia might buy your book. Somebody in India might buy your book. It's actually really kind of cool. Now, go down to the bottom. It can take up to 72 hours for your book to be available. This is true. Don't panic if you push this button and you don't hear from Amazon in the first 3 hours. You're like, oh, something went wrong, and you go through the whole process again. It's just going to start the whole process again. By clicking publish, I confirm, I agree to it. If you want to read all the terms and conditions, go right ahead. This down here, request a book proof. Once you push this guy down here, that means you are saying, I am good, put it up on Amazon for the whole world to see, make it available for everybody. So you don't want to do that until it's a good book and a finished product. So when you are working on this, you're going to want to request an actual physical proof. Now, you've looked through the digital proof, but trust me, there's stuff you're going to miss. There's just nothing like having it printed, cut in your hands so that you can look through it and see, oh, I didn't know it was going to look like that in print. Oh, I didn't know the colors were going to turn out color. I printed one that was this pretty sort of kind of fuchsia color. And when I got the book, it was like hot pink. No thanks. So you're going to want to request a proof. Now, when you do that, it's going to cost, I think the cost of the regular printing, So, you're $5.26, but then you're going to get charged $3.99 shipping. Don't panic about that because it doesn't mean every time you order a book, it's $3.99 shipping. It's just that's how much it charges if you buy one. It goes way down after that. So, for example, in the future, when your book is out and you're going to buy author copies, you can buy 100 copies and maybe it's only going to be $45 shipping total. So don't let the $3.99 get you worried. I don't want to request a proof because this one's already out. Because the one thing when you request a proof, you are going to get the copy, but it's going to have a banner across the front that says something like proof copy or something like that. So you're not going to be able to use this, sell this, whatever. This is for you to look through it, make marks, see the things you want to change, or see if, yep, this is exactly what I want. I'm good to go. And then you can get on here and you can publish your paperback book. But I think for now we are done. And my best wishes to all of you on your books and your writings. And wow, because millions of people start to write a book and not millions of people, I don't think, ever finish them. So the fact that you finished it and you're on your way to actually getting that in print, that's a really big accomplishment. So congratulations. You can feel really happy about that. And now you got to do the work of getting it, make it look like that. I'll leave you to it. Bye.